Majed, welcome to M5 and Startup Kuwait. Yeah, so please tell us a little bit about yourself and what are you currently working on?
Okay. I was actually born in Kuwait, but
nice.
at a very early age, we moved to Canada. And I lived in Canada for 20 years. I was always good at math, so I did actuarial science in Canada. It's more of statistics, calculus, stuff like that. I started working for an insurance company, but I also enjoyed investments, so I did my CFAs. And then after that, I wanted to do more, so I did my MBA in Europe, and then right after that came to Dubai. So it's sort of, I've been everywhere. Started in Kuwait, went to Canada, then from Canada to Europe for a year, and then to Dubai. So I've been in Dubai here now for 3 years, and I started in consulting with in Dubai right after finishing my MBA. And only 2 months ago, I actually joined Uber in Dubai to help launch the first city in the Middle East that Uber expands to.
Please tell us what is Uber and what does it do?
So basically, Uber 4 years ago started in San Francisco, Silicon Valley company. It's in a nutshell, it's an iPhone app that you can download for Android or Apple or BlackBerry 7. So we have all three options. And it allows you sort of to book a car on demand, and not just any car. You actually book like a chauffeur-driven car. It's called Uber Black. That's the product name.
So like a luxury car.
It's a luxury car, exactly. So things that you would expect from a luxury service. So you'll open your phone, it opens to a map. You put the pin where you want to be picked up. It'll tell you sort of how much time the closest car will be. And then you just simply select that I want to be picked up at this location. And a car, you can see, actually track the car as it's making its way to you. So you can see how long it takes and whether the guy took a wrong turn or he's standing behind the building, not in front of the building. And your credit card's on file, so you simply get in the car, tell the driver where you want to go, and just when you get there, just get out. Automatically, your card's charged based on a GPS calculation that we give the driver. So it's a very easy product. It mixes technology and the real world together. So it's not just like an online application, but you can actually see your online application acting in front of you in the real world because a car is literally coming to pick you up. Yeah.
So I know personally that Uber is a big thing now in the States. Can you tell us when did they start and how did it develop through probably 4 years and where it's going from this point and how did they end up in Dubai basically?
So it started 4 years ago in 2009, late 2009, early 2010. And basically in San Francisco, where all the technologies companies are, there is a big problem with taxis in San Francisco. So the founders thought there must be an easier way to book a car, because standing outside trying to get a taxi or a car is very difficult. So they sort of married the fact that why don't we put technology in these cars so that we can always see the available ones on the street. So it started off as sort of a small project where they developed the app, gave it to the driver, and then they shared it with their friends. But then, because of its popularity and how easy it was to use and the problem that existed in San Francisco, it just blew up in San Francisco. So right away, they were able to see that this is actually something very useful, and not just for San Francisco, but for any city. The experience is a very cool experience to be able to book your car and track it as it's coming. So then they expanded sort of in the US. It started to take off from San Francisco to New York to Washington, D.C., where there's another cab problem in D.C., Chicago. You can imagine all the big cities in the US. So they're still expanding in the US, but then they started about 2 years ago. They made it an international push. So the first city internationally was Paris. And then from Paris, now it just kind of grew in Europe and the rest of Asia. So for the last 4 years now, in 4 years only, now we are in 43 cities. And Dubai just started 2 weeks ago as the first city in the Middle East with plans to expand. And regarding your question about what the plans are forward, the plans now with the recent investment by Google Ventures, the plans are not to stop growing, and even at a faster pace. So we did 40 cities in 4 years. That's about 10 cities a year. But now for the next year, we want to do another maybe 20 cities. So the pace of growth is supposed to be much, much faster now. So we're looking at all the Middle Eastern cities, Africa, South America, and other Asian cities that we're not into yet, especially the big ones.
So the question I think is, when are you going to Kuwait, or do you have any plans to go to Kuwait?
Very good question. We have evaluated Kuwait. We haven't made a decision yet on Kuwait, whether we want to expand or not, because you have to look at it from a number of perspectives. You have to look at sort of the regulation. You know, can a technology company do this? In some cities we've been to, like Miami, there's a problem with regulation that doesn't allow Uber to be there, even though it's a big city, and we'd love to be there. So we have to evaluate the regulatory environment. We have to evaluate people's culture and habits. Do people take public transportation, such as taxis? Will they appreciate the service? So we are evaluating Kuwait, and a decision on Kuwait will be made fairly soon, so stay tuned.
So I just want to announce that we have a partnership now with Uber. So anyone books a fishing trip in Dubai, they're going to be able to take a free ride to the boat. So thank you for that. And please, if you have any other thing, or like any advice for the audience to use Uber, or like a trick, please.
There's no trick. So you do get a free ride, and we'll be happy to sponsor the free ride. But we don't give continuous free rides. So we'll give you the first 1 or 2 rides free. Yeah, to try it out. Try it out on us. We'll pay for it. One thing that people don't know, and what I always tell people, is that even after you try it out and you want to keep using it, you can actually on the app share the fare amount. So there's no cash with the driver. You don't need to tip the driver. Everything's included in the fare. But if you're traveling, let's say you're going to a restaurant at night and you're with 3 people in the car, you can, through the app, divide the fare by 3 people. So that if it costs you 60 dirhams to go somewhere, each person pays 20. So it's a cool feature. It's actually a very cool feature that not many people know about, but I mean, it's available. No exchange of cash, no worrying about how much does each pay. Just simply click on split fare, and it automatically, and say who you want to split it with, and that's it. You're done. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, and I can't wait to have to use Uber here in Dubai and have it in Kuwait as well. Thanks a lot, Majed.